जानन्नपि न जानाति पश्यन्नपि न पश्यति ब्रुवन्नपि न च ब्रूते कोऽन्यो निर्वासनादृते. Perception, when you see an object, naturally it leads to emotions for it, like or dislike. If you see it only for a second, then you have no time for all this. Like when you are walking through the forest, you just see the trees, but you don't have time. But if you go on looking at an object for some time, then perception leads to emotions. Perception leads to like or dislike. Some comment, ji. Perception leads to some kind of involvement. This is one thing. Or if perception doesn't lead to emotions, then it means he is a jnani. He sees and he also knows it as non-separate from the truth. It's mithyatvam. He resolves it. You can like the wave, or you can resolve the wave in our thinking that it is nothing but water. Either you continue to perceive an object with a sense of reality, or you perceive it and understand its falsity. So the choice is between the sense of reality and the understanding that it is falsity. Let me call it a sense of reality or sense of falsity. Both are sense anyway. Sense of reality, sense of falsity. In the case of a jnani, janannapi na janati. First I will explain it in the sense of a vidwan. Then we will look at it as the very nature of the truth. Janannapi, a vidwan sees it, sees the world. Na janati, but he doesn't know it. He doesn't know it means he understands it as non-separate from the truth. There is no objectification. He sees it without objectifying it. Pashyannapi na pashyati, he perceives the world without objectifying. It is non-separate from the subject. When the object is non-separate from the subject, then it is unobjectifiable being only. Because when I see the object as the subject, then the object loses its objectness. The wave seen as water loses its waveness. In that sense, he knows and he doesn't know, and he sees and also he doesn't see. Bruvannapi cha na brute, he talks, but yet the words that he speaks are not parallel to the being. The words are not parallel reality. The words are sounds, and sounds are a part of creation, and creation is not parallel to the observer. Is not parallel to, I would say is not parallel to the source, but the source being not other than the very seer, it's nature, the actual seer. The seer as distinct from even the deha, the body, the seen. The seer as distinct from even the thoughts which are only seen, objectified. the seer absolute. And therefore the creation, words are sounds and sounds are a part of creation, and creation is not parallel to the source, and the source means the seer as distinct from the seen, including the body. Therefore, if it is not parallel, it loses its identity as parallel, as an object. Waves as water is water. Therefore, it's not a separate reality. It's not parallel to water. Bruvannapi nacha brute. This is a vidwan. This is the nature of the knowledge. Ko anyaha nirvasanadrite. Who can falsify the world? I would like to translate it that. Who can falsify the world? With vasana, without knowledge. He says here, who is there in this world like a vidwan without the vasana? Without the vasana means without the desire. You see, it's not the desire. It is not freedom from desire that is the answer. It is the understanding about our nature that is the answer. Freedom from desire, I don't have to fight for freedom from desire. Freedom from desire is a consequence of clarity. Dream desires, inside the dream, I don't have to struggle for freedom from dream desires. When I understand the dream as a dream, the desires are also gone. Dream desires are gone. Therefore, freedom from desire is not the goal, please. Understanding the fact about ourselves is the goal, is the topic. Freedom from desire is a choiceless consequence, choiceless result. When I fall asleep, I am peaceful. That is a choiceless. That is the nature. When I touch fire, I am burnt. That is choiceless. When I understand the rope, I become free from the fear of the snake. Because I have been seeing a rope as a snake. And when I see the rope as a rope, then there is no perception of it as a snake. This is called correction of an error, choicelessly resulting in freedom from the fear of the snake. Therefore, the struggle is not to fight the desire. The education is not for freedom from desire. Education is about a fact about our being, the actuality of our being. Therefore, nirvasanad rite, without the vasana, nirvasanad rite, without freedom from desire, how can one falsify the world? This is what the author says. I am going to explain it a little differently. How can one falsify the world without freedom from desire? I would translate it, how can one be free from the desire without falsifying the world? That is the right thing. Because you can't be free from, you may control desire. Without falsifying the snake, I cannot be free from the fear of the snake. I can control the fear from the snake. I can distance from the snake. I can bully the snake. I can try to frighten the snake. I can resist the snake. These are all various human gimmicks against a problem. But when I understand this, there is no snake there. What I am seeing is not a snake. What I am seeing is not a snake, what I am seeing is only a rope. When I understand that it is only a rope, then I don't have to resist the snake. I am free from this. I am free from any emotion for the snake. And therefore, freedom from emotions is possible. Freedom from desire, freedom from impulses is a natural result of right understanding. Whereas right understanding is not a natural result of desire, some desirelessness. That is all mysticism. Fighting desire, etc., is a mysticism. Whereas Vedanta says, educate yourself about yourself, and all that makes you uncomfortable goes. The discomfort resolves. You don't have to fight discomfort. You don't have to fight restlessness. You don't have to fight mental disturbance. You don't have to fight anything. You only come to understand yourself. And therefore, the author says, who can falsify the world without freedom from desire? Nirvasanat rite, without freedom from vasana. Who else can? Who can falsify the world? I say, who can ever be free from the desire without falsifying the world? Bhikshurva bhupatirvaya Bhikshurva bhupatirvapi Yo nishkama sashobhate Bhaveshu galitayasya Shobhana shobhanamati. Bhikshurva, whether he is a mendicant, Bhupatirva, or he may be a king. Yo nishkamaha, the one who is free from desire. Sa shobhate, he shines out. I don't want to translate it like this. Whether he is a mendicant or a king, the one who is clear about his nature, he shines out. A clear person shines out. Not a person who is... First of all, you cannot be free from desire. You can only control desire without clarity. Inside the dream, the dream desires, you can control them inside the dream. When you wake up from the dream, when you understand the dream as a dream, you are free from... Freedom is different from control. Controlling is a struggle. In order to control, you use the will. In order to control, you have to sweat. In order to control, you have to struggle in the form of so many disciplines, in the form of... It is a penance. Penance is always in the form of controlling. This is education. Vedanta is not even penance place. I don't want to call it as a penance. Because penance also is sweating. In order to know the truth, you don't have to sweat. You have to think correctly. Right thinking is different from sweating. Right thinking is right education. Swamiji, right education also involves sweating? No. When there is no right education, then you go about sweating. Right education doesn't involve sweating. Therefore, bhikshurva, bhupatirva, yo nishkamaha. See, some of the authors, most of the sadhus in this country, they're all the time talking about freedom from desire, controlling desire, freedom from desire, controlling desire. The whole thing is only commenting against the desire, freedom from desire. I say it is not possible to be free from a desire. Nobody emphasizes Vedantic education. I personally feel somewhere down the history of Vedanta in this country, somewhere a kink happened in this tradition. A huge kink happened. And that kink is that you talk more about the desire and you talk less about the education. You talk more about the penance and less about the education. You talk more about self-control and less about self-understanding. You talk more about attitudes and less about understanding a fact. A scientist's attitude was lost. Sages had a scientist's attitude of trying to verify what is what. Vedanta says, I am, not the form. Is it true? They were out to verify it. They were out to see and look at themselves. They were not really worried about what desire they have, what comfort, what discomfort, what penance, what not. Education. And the beauty of this knowledge is right understanding eliminates all that makes me uncomfortable. It gives me choiceless comfort and it frees me from choiceless. It choicelessly liberates me from the discomforts. Therefore, bhikshurva bhupatirva yo nishkamaha sashobhate. I am translating it in my own way. That is, it is not the freedom from the desire that makes you shine out. It is your clarity about your existence. What is life? Is life only breath? Am I only a breather? Is my existence conditional only to the form? Is my existence conditional only to the breath? Or is it independent of, does it have independent existence? Do I have existence of my own? Or is my existence an illusion due to the body, the senses and the mind? Which is a universal feeling. I feel it is conditional. But the Shastra says your existence is not conditional. It is unconditional eternity. And the one who has clarity, the one who tries to see what Vedanta says is right about oneself, he peacefully shines out. The one who is peaceful shines out, Ji. You don't have to have colorful clothes to shine out. You may come into others' eyes all right. That's not shining out. If you have a lot of wealth, you don't shine out. You become popular, people talk about you. You become an object of envy for others. Because people are all interested in money and you have a lot of money and they don't have, they see. I wish I also had that kind of thing. That kind of envy people may have. shining out means a peaceful man shines out. A happy man shines out. That's called shining out. And shining out is something different from being popular, being talked about, etc., etc. It is something else. Happiness shines out. Peace shines out. That is called Shobhate. Second line says, Bhaveshu Galitayasya. The one whose desire in the objects has been dissolved, he shines out. I would like to translate this phrase like this. The one whose sense of reality about the objects has been corrected. The one whose sense of reality about the names and forms has been corrected, he shines out. Our problem is not a desire. Our problem is our view, about ourselves. General people cannot see the difference. You keep talking to them. I say, one's view, how I view my existence, that is my problem. I view myself as a form. It is age-old, timeless view. Even the time is within this view. The whole universe is within this view. My entire struggle is within this view. And my life is within this view. And death is within this view. Human problem is his view. And within the view is the desire also comes. You have countless desires within that view, within that wrong view. The unlimited viewing itself as limited. The eternal viewing itself as non-eternal. It is not a very insignificant view. It is not of great consequence to me if I mistake a rope for snake. It is not of a great consequence, I can leave it and go. Even if I think the earth is flat only, I can still live on. It is a very insignificant wrong view. And being ignorant of why do things come back to the earth, I don't know. It is a very insignificant piece of ignorance. It is not of great consequence to me. Ignorance of science is insignificant ignorance. But the ignorance about my free nature, but the ignorance about my unlimited nature, the ignorance about my eternal nature is not insignificant ignorance. It is of consequence. It makes me feel limited, non-eternal, make me struggle because my view is contrary, when it is contrary to my nature, it makes me unhappy. Therefore, what our need is not to fight desire, please. Desirelessness is not our need. In fact, desire is not the topic in life. The topic is one's existence. It's very difficult for people, it is very difficult for a Vedantic teacher to make the students think about their own existence. You talk about desire, they are very receptive. Swamiji, how to control desire? How to lessen desire, etc. Thereby, really somehow or other, their mediocrity makes them mystical. Human beings are so mediocre when it comes to deep reflection. We are all just mandadikaris. And one scripture says human beings are not adhikaris. Why? Because they are not receptive to, they only want to hear what they are already convinced of. They want to hear what interests them, not what they are in need of. This problem is their place. Therefore, this author also is sometimes, he says, you are a person whose desire is dissolved in the objects, a person who has no desire in the objects shines out. I say, you don't have to fight your desire for the objects. Correct your sense of reality. That is greatness. Your glory lies in that. Bhaveshu galitayasya shobhana shobhanamatihi. And the sense of good, the sense of pleasure, the sense that the things are pleasant and the sense that the things are unpleasant also gets corrected when the sense of reality is corrected. A person whose sense of pleasantness and unpleasantness about things is gone by way of correcting the sense of reality, such a person shines out. And the one who controls really, what do you like? I have no likes, no dislikes, etc. That means what? It is a bluff. If you have no likes, if you have no dislikes, then you should be a Brahmajnani ji. We all have likes and dislikes. I can have likes and dislikes for an object as long as I continue to view the object as a reality. It's parallel to me, it is another reality. Therefore, don't fight shy of saying, yes, I like it, yes, I don't like it, yes, I want it, yes, I don't want it. There is nothing wrong in it. In Vyavahara. In Vyavahara, it is better to own one's likes and dislikes. But in Paramartha Drishti, what you are silently working is not against the likes and dislikes. What you are silently working is against the sense of reality. I have explained away in this verse what is it that makes you shine out. Is only your understanding, please. Not your vairagyam, not your supposing you have no desire, you put on unclean clothes, unarranged hair, unwashed teeth, unbathed body, think तो इनका कोई जरूरत नहीं, बड़ा इंटरेस्ट, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. This is all ugliness. Ugliness is not our answer, please. Looking ugly physically is not our need. Looking ugly mentally, emotionally is not our need. Our need is to know the truth. Indians must be brilliant by way of making their existence the topic, rather than superstitions, rather than emotions, rather than trying for the impossibles, etc. Superstitions must be renounced. Okay, ji? The next verse. Kwa swachandyam kwa sankochaha kwa va tattvanishchayaha निर्व्याजार्जवभूतस्य चरितार्थस्य योगिनः Qua swachandyam? Where is elation? Neither the truth has elation, nor the one who understands the truth has elation. Swachandyam means in a kind of a elation, swachandyam. Qua sankochaha? Neither the truth has depression, nor the one who knows it. Considering the one who knows it is the truth itself. If you look at him as an individual, he can always look to have elations and depression. These are my fears. Whenever I talk about the one who knows, then we have to look at him as synonymous with the truth. But we can't look at a jnani as synonymous with the truth. We look at him also as an individual. As an individual, he has elations, he has depressions, his own sankochaha, depression. That's why I don't want to translate it also in the sense of a vidwan. Qua swachandyam, qua sankochaha, qua tattva nishchayaha, nor is the truth interested in determining its nature. Truth is not in need of knowing itself. This knowing, the need to know is there presupposing the error. The need for knowledge is conditional. It's not nature. It's conditional. You need education conditionally because one is born illiterate, therefore he needs to be literate. Right knowledge is a need presupposing wrong knowledge. Therefore, truth as truth is not in need of any right knowledge, because truth as truth is free from both right and wrong. Wrong thinking, wrong knowledge is in the form of thinking, anadi thinking, and correction of it also is a kind of a thinking, which thinking resolves again, doesn't remain as a thinking. Right thinking doesn't remain as thinking. It's like, what is the right thinking when it is done, it is not there as another thinking. Wrong thinking remains as thinking, and the correction of the wrong thinking does not remain as another thinking. Just as this is something, don't allow this thought to slip off your mind. Like the desire to sleep does not remain as a desire. As you sleep, the desire to sleep also goes. When the 10th man comes to know, entertains the thought that I am the 10th man, it doesn't remain as a thought, it's me. There is only me, the 10th man. When the wrong perception about the truth is corrected, then there is neither wrong perception nor right perception. There is only truth. Therefore, truth has no need to determine its nature. Yes, there is a need to think correctly, presupposing the wrong thinking. And wrong thinking is anadi, and the correction of it also is anadi. Anadi in the sense, it is not an event in time. Wrong thinking gets corrected along with the time. Wrong thinking about the truth is corrected along with the sense of individuality. Therefore, truth has no need to determine its nature. Nirvyaja, truth is free from cunningness. How wonderful. Nirvyaja, it doesn't have any cunningness, it doesn't have any strategy. Vyaja means a strategy, a style, a method, all these things. Nirvyaja, its existence does not depend upon a method. Its existence does not depend upon some monitoring, some maneuvering. Its existence is not, it is independent of all vyaja. If a man becomes rich, it is a vyaja. If a man gets promoted, also there is a lot of vyaja. If you win a cricket match, it is a vyaja. It is a kind of a strategy. But this, the existence of the truth, it is free from maneuvering, monitoring, cunningness, any process. Arjava bhutasya, and the truth is something that is arjava bhutas. It is straightforward. What does it mean? The truth is arjavam. Generally, arjava is used as a value for an individual, to be straightforward, arjava. No kinks in his thinking. Like Arjuna is called Arja. He is called Arjuna because he has got Arjava Bhava. Riju Bhava. Riju means like straight. What you think that you say and what you say that you do is what is called Riju Bhava. Arjavam. But this word is an attitude, is a value. But here it is not a value, it is a fact. If arjavam is used in the sense of a fact, it means it is something, it ever the same. It doesn't become, it is not a chameleon in its nature. It is not a chameleon in its nature. It is the same ever. It is full the same ever. It doesn't change its colors because it is free from colors also. Now it is full, now it is incomplete, aisa nahi hai. Arjava bhutasya. Charitarthasya yoginaha. Charitarthasya, the one which is fulfilled. As an individual, no individual is fulfilled, Ji. Fulfillment is the nature of an individual. The soul of the individual, the actuality of the individual, and the actuality of the individual is not an individual. Are you able to follow this point? The actuality of an individual is not an individual. The sense of individuality is just an error. Charitarthas, the self is ever fulfilled. It has no lack. It has no craving. Yoginaha, it is said yogi. A yogi is fulfilled, that is what the author says. A yogi is cunningness free. A yogi is maneuvering free. A yogi is free from the need to determine. A yogi is free from elation and depression. But I would like to say the yogi means the oneness, the truth is free from elation and depression. The truth is free from the need to determine anything. The truth is free from kinks in it. The truth has no gaps in it. The truth is free from any strategy, and the truth is ever full. To be full is what is called being fulfilled. You don't get fulfilled. You are ever full. Seeing the fullness that is already there is what they call getting fulfilled. Fulfillment is not a process. Like satisfaction is not a process. It's not an emotional, mental state. As many people think, after all, fulfillment also is a mental state, isn't it? It's not an emotional state. It's not a state of attitude. It's not a state of value. It is not a state of dharma. It is the actuality of one's being. Therefore, seeing your fullness is called as though getting fulfilled. It is described that way, but otherwise it is being full. Yogi, the author interprets it as an individual. Yogi means Parameshwara, the truth. The one with whom everything is non-separate. The one with whom everything is one with. And that is Yogi. And that is oneness. The next verse, Ji, one more verse we will see. Atma Vishranti Triptenam Nirashena Gatartinam Antaryadanubhuyeta Tatkatham Kasya Kathyate. Atma Vishranti Triptena. The truth that is ever satisfied by its own serenity. Atma Vishranti, resting in oneself. Triptena, the one that is satisfied, the one that is ever satisfied by way of resting in itself. That is the nature of the self. Atma Vishranti Triptena Nirashena, free from all illusions. Truth is free from all illusions. Whereas the author means the individual, the great yogi is free from all illusions. The one who knows the truth also is free from illusions. But generally he is always looked at as an individual. That problem comes. And that is why it is better to take the meaning differently. Nirash, it is the truth that is free from all illusions. Gatartina, ever free from falsity, ever free from something false in it. Gata, artina, it's free from dukkha. Atonyad artam also it is said. Artam means falsity. Falsity, yes. Gata artina. The falsity, the mithya is not gone. From the truth point of view, there is no mithya. Presupposing the sense of reality about the mithya, I correct, yes, that there is something mithya. And the mithya doesn't go, the mithya is only recognized as mithya. Therefore it's gone, he says, Gatartina, the one from whom the falsity is gone. Whereas the exact translation should be, the one that is ever free from the falsity. Antaryad anubhuyeta, and the truth that is always in the form of anubhava as aparoksham. Tat katham kasya katyate, how can it be conveyed to others? How can the truth be conveyed to others? If I say the truth is evident, you hear my words and you try to objectify that evident. You try to see that in me. But what I am explaining is what is evident to me, and that is also evident to you. Therefore you see, what is evident within yourself is what is the topic for you. But when I say what is evident, there is the self is the same in all the three states, then you start objectifying some self. But it is your own existence. It's not your soul, it is you, the soul. That your also creates a problem. It's not your truth, it's not your self, it is you, the self. Wave doesn't have a water, wave is water. It's the equation. That is why a statement of equation is different from every other statement. All others are statements of relationships. This is my table, statement of relation. This table belongs to this, that. There is a case on the table, statement of relation. Second case, third case, fourth case, fifth case, sixth case, seventh case, they are all cases of relationships. Whereas the first case, nominative case, it is a statement of equation. Yes. Rama is Krishna. Brahma is Vishnu. Vishnu is Shiva. That Devadatta is this Devadatta. The Father is the Son. That means if Father cannot be the Son, and still the statement is the Father is the Son. That means the being is the same. The fatherness and the sonness are mithya, are roles. The roles may be different, the being is the same. Therefore, when I say your truth, your actuality means it is your actuality that is what is called the I. The I as separate from the form, the subject as separate from the object, is the actuality. Antaryad anubhuyeta tat katham kasya kathyate. How can it be conveyed? And then we try to mystify it. How do we mystify it? Oh, it is so difficult to convey the truth. It is so difficult to listen to the truth. Therefore you have to control this, you have to control that, and you have to get up at 4 o'clock and do penance. And then we drift into sadhanas. We just mislead ourselves. I say if a fact is difficult to understand, then I have to still understand it, rather than drift into some kind of a process. This is how it is very difficult to understand Vedanta unless you undertake some penance, unless you have this discipline, that discipline. At least you should be able to renounce 1 or 2 meals every week. This kind of mystical thoughts come. It's all nothing but mediocrity speaking. It is nothing but mediocrity of an individual speaking. And there is no dearth of mediocrity, I am telling you. If you want to study Vedanta, just understand correctly by yourself that it is a statement of actuality about yourself. And if it is difficult to understand, I have to lend my ears more. I have to look at it more closely. Not drift into some kind of sadhanas. You have to have vairagyam. What if you have vairagyam, so what? If you have, 500 pairs of slippers, how can you know the truth? Why not? Why not, Ji? Even if you have 5,000 pairs of slippers, you can still know the truth. What is there? In this manner, we drift into mysticism. It is difficult. And that it is difficult makes us drift into some doings. If the knowing is difficult, then we drift into doings. If right thinking is difficult, then we drift into some doings. Then we drift into pujas and pathas and worships. They're all right, you keep doing it, but not as a substitute for Vedanta. Understand, your puja patha is not going to make Vedanta easier. I have to give my full attention to the statement. I have to look at myself. Having done all puja patha, I have to look at myself correctly. There is no maneuvering, there is no manipulation in life that makes understanding the truth easier, please. Nothing can lessen my burden. I have to look at myself correctly. And therefore, don't drift into mystical things. Purnamadaha purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Ji.